Yo, what is going on, guys? Chris here, and for today's 4K review, I got one of my favorites from 2018, Overlord, produced by J.J. Abrams. So if you missed this in theaters and you're curious about what this film is about, well, basically, on the eve of D-Day, American paratroopers drop behind enemy lines to penetrate the walls of a fortified church and destroy a radio transmitter. But as the soldiers approach their target, they soon begin to realize that there's more going on in the Nazi-occupied village than a simple military operation, which, forces them into a vicious battle against an army of the undead. And man, this is a bloody good time, pun intended. Such a fun blast, sort of like a live-action version of the video games Call of Duty and Medal of Honor. It had that similar vibe. So as far as technical aspects, they ended up shooting this film in 2.8K and 3.4K. So right off the bat, I can tell you that this is a dark film and the black lows are deep and it has the slightest amount of grain added in, which doesn't overpower the image. It looks great on 4K, but I have to admit, during certain scenes, it felt as if you're watching it on Blu-ray, as fine detail is hard to make out at times because of low lighting. And I like to think of low-lit films kind of like a black car. The darker the color, the harder it is to see the fine details on a vehicle, and the same can be said with this film. So even though it's not reference quality, it comes pretty darn close, but it's one that's sure to please those who appreciate that dark, gritty look in movies. But during some of the daytime scenes is when you really get to appreciate the added resolution of 4K. But man, what an amazing audio mix. The explosions, the firing of the weapons, it completely brings you into the action. Lots of great bass in this, from the sides of the speakers and above. It's one hell of a great Atmos track. So my rating for the picture quality is a 4.5 out of 5 and a 5 for the audio. For features, you get the usual goodies, behind the scenes making of featurettes, which can be accessed only on the Blu-ray disc. But I tell you, this is one of those movies that you go in not expecting much from, but you come out pleasantly surprised how great it was. And that alone makes it a worthy addition to your film library. And I'm really digging the artwork on this 4K release. At first glance, it looks like, blood drops, but if you look closely, it's actually paratroopers, so that's pretty cool. And those that are wondering, this slipcase is not embossed. It's glossy, but there's no embossment. So there you have it. That's Overload on 4K Blu-ray, and it's set to debut on February 19, 2019. So as usual, thanks for checking out my review, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.